to the new thing isn't global warming or isn't Ukraine or isn't COVID. Now it's the Muslims. And I don't like a lot of the stuff Israel's doing. I think they stood down. I think it was a false flag. I mean, I think real Islamicists attacked, but it was clearly money Biden sent. But what's the larger picture here with Harvard and the big universities endorsing this? We got a lot to talk about in the 45 minutes or so we've got him, and I'm going to cover some more news after he leaves us in this hour before the next guest joins us. But clearly we said another big war is coming. That's going to be the distraction from the COVID deaths, all the rest of it. And now they're trying to trigger a holy war. Obviously, you get boosted big on Twitter and everywhere else, Hotep, where you're already reaching millions a day if you got on the bandwagon. But clearly the establishment is trying to create some type of clash of civilizations here. Hotep Jesus, thank you for joining us, hotepjesus.com. And the people can also find you at Hotep Jesus on Twitter and menofhonor.com. So, Hotep, thank you so much for coming on with us.
Oh, absolute pleasure, Alex. So, yeah, so your take on Israel's pretty much similar to my take. Obviously, the timing is convenient. We have election season now here, a.k.a. grifting season. Nikki Haley has proven to be a supreme grifter herself after her comments on Fox last night. But what's the bigger story here? Well, first of all, the next distraction is to create something domestically, right? Create some sort of event domestically. Now, it's been happening in spurts here and there. You have protesters clashing. You have Grand Central Station being attacked by pro-Palestine protesters. You have Jewish people being attacked. A lot of different skirmishes have taken place on domestic soil. Much of this planned, much of this known by the elite rulers. And that was one of my fears early on, where there's conflict in the Middle East, and because of all the vitriol on social media spilled into our streets. Now, much of this stuff, as we know, Hamas in Palestine has been supported by George Soros. Black Lives Matter supported by George Soros. We've tracked down some of these protests between...
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How I'm supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there, you understand?
You guys finished your work 6 hours early? He's not tapped in.
Today, we're going to take an introductory look at something called white Christian nationalism. The Grift Report starts now.
2, 1, boom. Hotep Jesus.
Of all the Jesuses I know, he's the Hotepiest. Social scientist and YouTube host, Hotep Jesus.
How the fuck do you get a name like Hotep Jesus?
The one and only Hotep Jesus.
Ryan Sharp, better known to the world as Hotep Jesus.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Somebody said, what do you think you are, some kind of Hotep Jesus?
Ooh,
and
that's
I was
good.
Just like, ooh, that's sexy. Yes, I do think I'm Hotep Jesus.
What's happening, Hoteps? Welcome to the Grift Report, live Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm your host, the Grift God.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Hotep to the chat. Hotep to the Hotepistanis.
Hotep.
What up, y'all? Heather said we invading Jersey. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Tickets on sale right now. Tickets on sale right now. Heather, you got the link, yo? The link's not exactly ready yet. So, but yes, if you're in one of our chats, you can get the link. Link in the description box below. Join our chat. You get a link to the Grifties. Grifties Live. The link is live to buy tickets. We're going to do this at the dojo in New Jersey. What is it, March 9th? So it's going to be a fabulous, fabulous time. And shout out to Fresh Mike. Fresh Mike has put this together. He's doing a phenomenal job at it. So salute to him. And without further ado, let's dive into today's presentation. I'll get the Grifties link to y'all if y'all want the link, or if somebody has the link, post it in the chat. But I don't want to post it personally because it's not ready yet. Like, there's some verbiage issues. And yeah. Or you can get the link by joining the Telegram, the Big Brain Telegram. It was a nice little debate last night between DC and Chad. If you guys want to see a nice big brain debate, join the Telegram group. Really fascinating. Why don't I do a podcast with DJ Academics? He's in Jersey. Man, everybody in New Jersey great. I could do a podcast with a lot of different people. I don't know what makes him special. We don't even talk about the same things. All right, let's go into today's conversation. White Christian nationalism. Now, I'm going to be completely, utterly honest. I probably have the trashiest source you'll ever find on this subject matter. We're going to use it anyway because I think it gives us a nice lens into how these people operate. Okay. This is written by a gentleman by the name of Steve Corbin. Okay. Professor Emeritus of Marketing at University of Northern Ohio. So first thing I want to do is I want to find him. I want to find his page. Here he is. Okay. So it looks like he's written a bunch of different things. All right. Especially on white nationalism. Okay. So let's go back. So Steve Corbin is the guy who wrote this article. We're going to take a look at the column. It says, white Christian nationalism threatens U.S. democracy. Now, if you've watched this show before, you already know how I feel about the word democracy. People love to throw that word around like it means something. Okay? Democracy is a white people word. It's something that like white people like talk about a lot. Democracy, democracy, democracy. Or educated Negroes. Negroes who have been in close proximity with whites use the term democracy a lot. When really democracy is nothing good. It's nothing good about democracy. Somebody loses in democracy. Okay? And often it's the good that loses in democracy. Often it's well, let's just leave it at that. Okay, let's continue because I'll get too nuanced into that conversation about democracy. And I don't want to make this about democracy. Let's dive into the article here. It's a rather short article. I have my highlights here, and I think I'll stick to my highlights. I'm not even going to cover some of this other stuff. Let's stick to my highlights. So he says here, he claims Christian nationalism beliefs are strongly correlated with support for QAnon, an extremist movement for the political right. And this is written September 15th, 2023. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you, but I don't remember anybody even mentioning QAnon this year at all. At all. So Dirt Sapient says, why are the words Christian and white confused with each other as if somehow there are not black and Asian and Hispanic and even Arab Christians? That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. You're in the right place. We're going to answer those questions. We're going to answer those questions today. And my source is going to be from real life white Christian nationalists that I had a discussion with yesterday, because that is the inspiration for today's stream. So not only am I going to use the left's bullshit ass source, I'm going to use an anecdotal source that we can all listen to. And we're going to dive into a couple of timestamps in that conversation. And we're going to walk through this conversation. And we're going to talk about that. So they say the tenets of Christian nationalism are the government media, and financial worlds in the U.S. are controlled by a group of Satan-worshiping pedophiles who run a global sex trafficking operation. I'm going to stop right there. I ain't no white Christian nationalist. I ain't no Christian nationalist. I ain't no Christian. But that shit sound accurate as shit to me.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
That sounds quite accurate, if you ask me. I thought that was, I mean, the Satan thing might be a little off. I think it's more like Moloch. But Jesus in the Bible calls it the synagogue of Satan, right? So Jesus claims that it's Satan. So, you know, if we're going to talk about white nationalism, we got to follow the words of Jesus, right? So let's continue. It says, there is a storm coming soon that will sweep away the elites in power and restore the rightful leaders. I don't know if I believe that. I ain't seen no storm yet. I ain't even seen a light drizzle. All I see is a bunch of fools running around with like a chicken with his head cut off. Because things have gotten so far off track, true American patriots may have to resort to violence in order to save our country. Now, I ain't gonna say true American patriots should resort to violence, but 1776 is a celebrated day, and it came with a lot of violence. Every year, July 4th, we celebrate 1776. All your great politicians, they're going to mention 1776. You know what that came with? Gunpowder and a musket. Gunpowder and a musket. Let's continue. So it says the SPLC offers a summary of the movement that should be a wake-up call to Americans. Now, I can't trust much coming out of the SPLC. They're a bunch of grifters. But let's continue. It says here, white Christian nationalism is a key ideology that inspired the failed Jan 6, 2021 insurrection. Okay. Now, I got to tell you, we covered the Jan 6 live. We had people on the ground. The white national. See, this is what you call is a politically motivated article. I'm going to show you in finality and definitively that this is a politically motivated article. This has nothing to do with white nationalism. It has everything to do with siding with Democrats. Okay. And making politicians look bad. So somehow he's put white Christian nationalism, and that may be in the Venn diagram somewhere. There may be some crossover between Jan 6 and some white Christian nationalism, but it was not a key ideology. The key ideology of Jan 6 was them suspicious ass ballot machines. Them suspicious ass tapes with people ballot stuffing. And a lot of that truth is still coming out. That was the key motivating factor. It ain't had nothing to do with white pretty Jesus. It had to do with the fact that usually we get the results of the presidential election the night of the presidential election. But last election, they was like, we don't know who won. Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. And then all of a sudden, Trump lost. And everybody scratching their head. When Obama lost, it wasn't no recount. I mean, won twice, it wasn't no recount. No, we found out the night of. There's some educated white folk in the chat. There's some educated folk in the chat. When was the last time we had to wait to find out who our president was? When was the last time we had an election like the last one where you had to wait? Huh? Dirt Sapient says we are attacked and categorized into unacceptable groups. You know whose fault that is? It's yours. It's your fault. We're gonna get into it. I'm gonna show you exactly how that's your fault. Okay. Let's continue. It says adherents of white Christian nationalism are the drivers of, and here's this word again, anti-democratic conspiracy theories, election denialism, possibly book banning, the rainbow denigration, sanitized black history curriculum, anti-female reproductive rights, gerrymandering, which Democrats participate in, and attacking DEI. Now, I see all of these things on the timeline. Okay, yeah, you have a nice window into the right wing or whatever is supposed to be called right wing, and their popular voices, and personalities, and media outlets. And I gotta tell you, this stuff is more politically driven than it is Christian driven or religiously driven. But this has a lot to do with politics and culture. It's just the facts of the matter. Then, like I told you, I'll conclusively show you. This is a politically motivated article. If you ever want to know what article's about, read the first and the last paragraph. It says here, currently, there are 14 Republicans and 3 Democrats wanting to win the November 5th, 2024 presidential election. Hundreds of candidates will be seeking local, county, state, and federal offices of power. Citizens must be vigilant. He tells you right there, this whole article was about elections. It's politically motivated. So they want to take the conversation of Christian nationalism and try to make it a thing about politics. And those two things intersect, but don't have much to do with each other. The only reason why they have something to do with each other is because of grifters. It's just that simple. Grifters on the right and grifters on the left. Grifters on the right know that believing in God and being Christian is something that means something to people in this country. So they, what is it, Pavlov? They do the Pavlov's bell. They ring the bell, hey, I believe in God, and everybody starts salivating. Then on the left, they use it as a tool to attack white people. So today we're going to definitively prove that it's your fault that you're being attacked for being called white nationalists. Going to prove that it is white nationalism. We're also going to prove that there's nothing wrong with white Christian nationalism. These are the three things. These are the 3 things that we are going to prove right now. Let's go to the tape. Like I said yesterday, I was in this, hold on. Twitter space. Shout out to my homie Nick for inviting me. Nick is one of our associates over at Men of Water. Really good mind. Really good guy. He invited me to this space. I don't know why he thought I would be appropriate for white Christian nationalism, but yeah, here we are. Actually, I don't like the way that looks. I like the way this looks. Let's leave it like this, okay? Okay. So I have a few timestamps, and let's dive right into them. We're going to go to, now this is right on my timeline. I tweeted it out yesterday, Christian nationalism, okay? So let's start right here at this timestamp. It roughly starts at 40 minutes and 10 seconds, so at this juncture, we're starting at 39:55. Let's begin. Between the grifter, white nationalists, white Christian nationalists, and somebody else. Or am I wrong, about calling it white Christian nationalism? Because it damn sure doesn't include black people. I know that.
So here, I'm actually I got to disagree with you because Pew did a poll. And when they asked people from all across the races, do you think America is better when it is when its rules are based on the Bible? More black people said yes than white people, and more Latinos said yes than white people. So if we're talking, if your definition of Christian nationalism is, hey, we should have laws that are informed by the Bible, then the POCs are more Christian nationalist than the whites.
Let's stop right there. Did everybody hear that? Based upon Pew Research data. Based upon the data, POC, people of color, black folks, Hispanics, are more likely to be Christian nationalists than any other group, than any other race, especially whites. Okay? This is the data. Okay? Now, Taryn was one of the co-hosts in this, and she said, because one of my questions was, how do you tell the difference between, a true white nationalist who, really means what they say and lives their tenets out in life and is doing good things, and your usual grifter. And her response was, you can tell by the fruit that they bear. And I thought that was a remarkable response. Absolutely remarkable response. I agree with that. Now, I'm in business, marketing, et cetera, et cetera. And what we do is we take a look at the data, the Pew Research, the numbers, the statistics, and then we make decisions based upon that. So if I identify a particular group to be more conducive with purchasing my product, I target that group. So if Christian nationalism has nothing to do with white people and is for all people, why do we not see a collaboration between the white church and the black church?
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
We have to judge people by the fruit that they bear. We got to judge them by the fruit that they bear, not what they say, by the fruit that they bear. Now, if I was a white nationalist and I looked at the data, I'd be like, you know what? I'm giving up on a white demographic because they obviously ain't buying this product. I'm about to work with black people. But you can't do that as a white Christian nationalist. You know why? Because your own base will turn on you. The white people will turn on you. You know what they'll say? You're pandering to the blacks. Why are you pandering to the blacks? Are you a Democrat? Almost as if black people are synonymous with Democrat. It won't work. It won't even receive any popularity or support from the white right. Prove me wrong. That's my challenge to everyone. Prove me wrong. Show me. Ranger says that's that Democrat work. You see what I'm saying? This is how this is the control design that tells you how people think. And that's what Democrats do. They work through the black church. They know the power of the black church. And they talk to our spiritual leaders, knowing that we are more spiritual than anybody, more Christian nationalists than anybody. But where's the collaboration? Where's the outreach? You don't see it in politics, and you don't see it in Christian nationalism, the movement. And what I'm saying is you don't have to do that. You don't have to work with black people. You don't have to reach out to the black church. But you cannot be a hypocrite and then say this is not white Christian nationalism just because the left said so. Oh, the left called it white Christian nationalism, so we can't be that because that's bad. The left said it's bad. I'm judging it based upon your actions. You dug up the data and said black people over-index, black people more likely to be Christian nationalists, yet your message ain't reaching them. Why? Are you afraid? Are you black-pilled on that type of mission? Because from where I'm standing, I'm telling you right now, I think the black church will open the doors up. If a bunch of whites gathered and knocked on the doors of a black church, first of all, the black church is going to be like, why are these white folks out here? But if your message is positive and kind, and you came with some casserole, some apple pie, they would open the doors for you and you guys would be able to collaborate. And you'd be able to have discussions, political discussions, very intellectual. Some might get heated, some might not. But at the end of the day, what you guys would have is a common love for Jesus Christ. Something that I don't have. And I would love to see you guys do that. But if you do not do that, then you have to call a spade a spade. You're a white Christian nationalist. Now he says, the comment here is, where's the comment from dude? Because he asked a question earlier, and I told him we were going to answer that. Did y'all delete it? Hold on, I gotta change it to live. I hate when it does top chat. All right, let's go here. Where is he? Here we go. Dirt Sapient. It's one hell of a name. We are attacked and categorized into unacceptable groups. And he puts quotes around it. Unacceptable. Quotes around unacceptable. Can I ask y'all a question now? Do you ask for permission to be accepted? Or do you make people put respect on your name? This is the problem with the right. The left got them shook. Turn them into bitches. Oh my God, but they're going to call me names. Really, nigga? This is what you afraid of? You afraid the left going to call you some names? The white people I grew up with, they take you to court for shit like that. Defamation. Sue. See, this is the problem with the right, AKA the reactionary movement. The left say some shit and y'all react. I wouldn't react. If I was that movement, I wouldn't react. I wouldn't even give it no credit. I'd pick up the phone and I would call my attorney and I would say, file a lawsuit on anything and everything that you possibly can. Begin the work now. My second step would be to hold a press conference after we filed the paperwork for the lawsuit to address the matter and make it publicly known what our message is and why our message is being misconstrued. Then my third step would be go back to the work. Go back to minding my business. It would not become topics of discussion online. It would not become topics of debate online. The left would be wholly ignored. But you can't ignore the left. You know why? Because it's too profitable. Because the key to any great grift is having an enemy. That's what makes Christianity work so well, because you always got the devil there. Satan's lurking around the corner. In order to have, this is in my book, Dominate Twitter, in order to have any great cult-like movement, you need an enemy. And this is part of the control design for the right. So the influencers wake up. They look to the left for content. They don't look within, they look to the left for content. What do they do today? What are they talking about today? What are they doing now? And then they drudge it up. Bring it to the surface. When nothing is there, they find something old. They bring it to the surface. They put it in front of their audience faces and goes, look at the enemy. Then they use that to campaign and win donations. This is the control design of the right. This is how they operate. If you took away the left, they would have nothing. And I'm going to prove that to you right now in real time. Well, not real time. We're playing a replay. So let's go to the next part of the tape. So again, you keep talking about these unacceptable terms. You must deem what is acceptable and what is not. Okay? You must deem that.
Constitution of 1991, revised 2016. And I'm aware of this because of Vodi Bakum, Black Baptist minister and pastor who's working over in Zambia now, who I had a chance to interview on Christian nationalism.
Oh, this is the timestamp. You heard him. Let's bring that back. Remember, I thought we were going to the next one. This is just more supporting my, because they keep pulling up data, right? They pull up this data that says, you know, black people are Christian nationalists.
Conversation still, I'd say writ large, as much as it's happening, it hasn't really stuck. It really is still more a conversation about Christian nationalism just in general. But also, Nick, I agree with you that it's certainly not something that doesn't have anything to offer, you know, black people in America or even around the world or people of other races. The Zambian.
Now, this is the mindset of these people. It has something to offer, as if they are the savior. Oh, we got something to offer. You could win off of this, right? and I'm probably being a bit pedantic here, but for the sake of entertainment, let's keep going. Oh, look at what I got. I got some bread for you, Negroes. You can benefit from this. No, what about collaboration? We don't need to benefit. We already are Christian nationalists. You said that. We're already trying to benefit from it. Where's the collaboration, William? Then what does William do? What does he invoke?
Constitution of 1991, revised 2016. And I'm aware of this because of Vodi Bakum, Black Baptist minister and pastor who's working over in Zambia now, who had a chance.
Zambia. So he invokes Africa. Africa. When's the last time these people white Christian nationalists or Christian nationalists, worked with a black church in Africa? A black Christian church in Africa. When was the last time that happened? Show me your work and I will show you your ideology. Don't talk. Show me your work. Show me what you've done. Hotep Nation works with a primarily black staff, and we work side by side with white people. We don't practice race ideology. It's not what we practice over here. A bunch of brothers started a movement. Bunch of black brothers started a movement that turned into a nonprofit organization. And we decided to work with white people because we understood the value of all people and the value of individuals, the value of groups. Okay, let's go to the juicy part. Let's see. Hold on. Hold on. All right, perfect.
Nationalism. And that's, so it's, I would say the mission for the Christian nationalism that I see myself
is now
aligning.
So we were talking about, or I asked them to define what Christian nationalism was and what their mission was. So that's what we're headed into now. Right. And listen to how I address William here. De facto leader of Christian nationalism.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
William, what is the mission? You are now, we have elected you, or I have. Now I want you to listen. Remember I said about that term democracy? I want you to listen to the control design that comes from this man's mind when I ask him this question. Keep in mind, we're role playing here, and this is all hypothetical as a thought experiment. And listen to his response. It's very weird. It's very robotic and NPC-ish. Elected you as the de facto leader of Christian nationalism. What is the mission?
Church, he looks white. So
their own citizens over anyone else in the world, in the global population.
I want to make sure you hear me.
And so
foreign nationalism. And that's, so it's, I would say the mission for the Christian nationalism that I see myself
William is now the
aligning
de facto leader of Christian nationalism.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
William, what is the mission? You are now, we have elected you, or I have elected you as the de facto leader of Christian nationalism. What is the mission? What are you going to do for your people?
Yeah, well, if you're the only one electing me, then I'm not sure that's a democracy. And so I'm.
You see what you hear this fucking response, yo? Well, if you're the only one electing me, I'm not sure that's a democracy. Oh my God. Well, if you're the only one, it's a thought experiment, William. And this is the problem. Former senior official in the Trump admin. These people are brainwashed. I don't think he does this maliciously. I don't think he does. I think these people are programmed to think like this. I think they are programmed to have no thoughts. Well, if you're the only one that elected me, then this isn't a democracy. If I just said, I'm electing you, obviously it's not a damn democracy. But what did I show you in the beginning of the presentation? Their obsession with the term democracy. I don't know what it is about these white people, right and left, where they got this obsession with this term democracy, our great democracy. They say it so much they can't stop saying it. What? Yes, Justine, just no thoughts, just regurgitation. I got to default to my programming. No, William, I need you to think on your own. Let's go back.
I'm not sure that I have the right to take the title here, but I think that
I don't have the right to take the title here. It's a thought experiment, William. Answer the question.
There's a really good definition that captures sort of the mission and vision of Christian nationalism in the American context, this is a very important piece of this conversation, is that the nationalism piece of it is critical, right? Like nations, I believe, nations have a right to sovereignty, to self-determination, to preserve their cultures and their practices, and to look out for their own citizens. They should look out for their own citizens over anyone else in the world, in the global population. And so forms and versions of Christian nationalism would appropriately look different in different nations. I view Christian nationalism very much, and this speaks to mission too. Yeah, I'm getting there. It stands in direct contradiction to the.
I'm at this point, I'm rolling my eyes. I'm like, yo, just answer the fucking question, bro. Former senior official in the Trump admin, Mr. NPC, Mr. Hold on, let me say a whole bunch of words. Let me whip up this word salad and not say anything. Can you just answer the question, bro? This is why I'm glad I don't come from their world, because in their world, this shit is acceptable. If you just throw a whole bunch of words together and sound smart, people think you're actually smart. Meanwhile, you ain't said shit. You just talking. It sound like Charlie Brown. Wah, 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 wah. It's just noise.
Globalist secular order being foisted upon us.
Let's talk about you. What do you believe in? Forget the left, forget the globalists, forget George Soros, William. And this is why I call the right the reactionary movement, because they talk about everybody else but themselves. What is your mission?
Well, I would like to, give me a second here. And so this is an important piece about conservatism too, Hotep, right? Look, conservatives need a positive vision and they need to articulate it. But the reality is in America right now, so much of working towards a positive vision is countering the evil influences. So a positive construction vision of the family, in my opinion, is that, a nation recognizes that, marriage is only between a man and a woman, right? Like that is, we've lost that. So my positive vision in part is getting.
So the white nationalist movement is concerned with teaching that marriage is between a man and a woman. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a failed society.
I wish all the black people were as smart as Hotep Jesus. And I wish all the white people were as smart as Hotep Jesus. And I wish all the Hispanics were as smart as Hotep Jesus. Because that guy, he really gets it. He knows how to boil it down.
If you got to teach your people that an immaculate conception is between a man and a woman, or the immaculate conception is between God and Mary. But if you have to tell your people that conception of a child is between man and a woman, you've already lost. You've already lost. You lost. You hustling backwards. The left has got you so fucked up that you lost. Imagine I buy a ticket, right? I go to this rally, I get to the rally and they're telling me marriage is between a man and a woman. Everybody's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, when we gonna get to the good stuff? Like, I knew that already. That's that we're all here because we already believe that. Is that what you gotta reinforce? Is that your mission? That means the left has got you so distracted, you gotta start from -10. You're not starting at 0. You're starting from -10. You're not even starting at 0. You're behind the 8 ball. That you have to, the majority of white Christian nationalists already agree with that. The sad part is they so stupid and so ignorant that all you got to do is say, hey, marriage is between a man and a woman, and they go, yay! Pavlov rung the bell. Let me salivate. Dopamine, dopamine. That's how desperate and destitute and backwards the white right is, aka the reactionary movement. I ask you what your mission is, and you're going to talk about globalists. You're going to talk about, I don't know what a man is and what a woman is. No, that's some shit they convince you is a problem online. In the real world, everybody know what's up. They scared to say something, but everybody know what's up. And how do I know this? Because I talk to people. I pull it out of them. In the real world, I like that anecdotal evidence. Yo, what you think about this? Oh, man, that shit is crazy. Oh, really? What do you think about this, Dad? Oh. See, everybody's running around thinking this shit, but nobody's saying this shit. Now that I know everybody's thinking it, we don't even gotta address it. You don't gotta address whether, and that's the trick. Sun Tzu, Art of War, he tell you, don't fight on your enemy's battleground, because they know the territory better than you. The left created this conversation. They created the vocabulary around this conversation. You can never beat them on their own battlefield, especially when you desperate and you ain't got no good troops. You have no intelligentsia. Who's the smartest person on the fucking right? Who's the greatest mind on the right? And you're not allowed to include libertarians, because libertarians is the smartest out of all the bunches of white people. The smartest people out of white people are either Jewish or libertarian. Everybody else is a waste of fucking time. Whether left or right, it's a waste of fucking time. The smartest people are either Jewish or fucking libertarian. In fact, you couldn't have built America without Jewish people.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
You don't got modern capitalism without Jewish people. I already showed you that book by Werner Sombart. You don't got science without Jewish people. Y'all love Albert Einstein. Shit, you ain't got chess without Jewish people, including the Russian Jews. He says Jews aren't white. Here we go with this shit again. Oh my fucking God. This is the problem. This is why I say y'all not intelligent, because y'all get caught up on dumbass conversations. Y'all get caught up on dumbass conversations. Are Jews white or not? Is a man, a woman, see the conversations y'all get stuck on? This is the problem. You already starting off in the red, Jason. Tell him. You already starting off in the red. So, we come back.
Back to things like that nations should control their borders. We've lost that. So we need to get back to those things.
Wait,
and then
say that
begin
again?
to reorder.
You said what about man and woman?
That marriage is only between a man and a woman.
That's one of the problems y'all got to deal with.
What have you looked around America lately? We've got homosexual couples adopting surrogate babies from rent-a-room agreements. So yes, I think so.
That's wild. That is absolutely wild, because it just feels to me that it's a distraction. Right? It's like, we're going to make these people so backwards and make their mission so backwards that they'll have to start with, this is a boy and this is a man. You can't even get to work. You can't even get to your mission because your people are so confused. They don't know consummation is between a man and a woman. The conception of a child between man and a woman. If you don't know that, damn, I think the war already lost.
Well, I don't think the war is lost, but if you take a look around America today or around the Western world, that confusion has clearly set in, and defending and re-articulating the biblical understanding, the natural order understanding, and the reality of marriage is one of the most pressing issues of our day. If we don't strive to reinvigorate, I don't know how you could.
I feel like that's an internet thing. It's like for people who hang out on Twitter all day, they think that people don't know conception is between a man and a woman. I go out in the real world, and I done ran into more trans people within the past 5 years than I ever have outside of being in San Francisco and New York City. I just don't want to hear myself speak, honestly. And that I just wanted to show you, right, where I open the conversation up and I say, William, you are now the de facto leader of white nationalism. It's a conversation about white nationalism. It's got 2 hosts and 2 panelists, me, and the other one is William Wolf. He's the other panelist. You got 2 hosts, me and him. So I turned into a debate, mostly because he was irritating me. I'll be honest. He was irritating me because he just sounded like an NPC. Just sounded like somebody that came straight out of the swamp of DC, right? And I knew that, obviously, looking at his bio, because I was like, yo, who is this guy? And I clicked his bio. I'm like, oh, okay, this makes sense. This nigga was raised on the Capitol Hill, practically. Like, he worships at the altar of Capitol Hill. And the first thing he says out his mouth is, well, I don't know if I would be the leader because of democracy. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh my God, did he just use that word again? I have to go back to that because I need this to stain your mind so that anytime you go out in the world and you listen to these people speak, you can see the bullshit I'm talking about.
Nationalism. And that's, so it's, I would say the mission for the Christian nationalism that I see
William
myself
is now the
aligning
de
with.
facto leader of Christian nationalism. Okay.
There we go.
William,
We did it
what
here
is
in this
the
space.
and I'm gonna say we, and then I'll correct myself and say no, I am, because I didn't want to speak for we. I want to speak for me. Mission. You are now. We have elected you, or I have elected you as the de facto leader of Christian nationalism. What is the mission? What are you gonna do for your people?
Yeah, well, if you're the only one electing me, then I'm not sure that's a democracy, and so I'm not sure.
See what I'm saying? It's like white people say shit just to try and sound smart, but they default to programming to try and sound smart. Now, they tried to define Christian nationalism early in the conversation. I couldn't follow because it was just very vague and broad, and they admitted, like, I can't really describe this shit. And I'm just like, how y'all follow some shit? And see, that's the thing. That's the thing. When you can't define something, somebody else will. When you can't define what white nationalism is or Christian nationalism is, somebody else will. So y'all got to organize your movement and figure out, somebody got to pop up a website and get people behind it. Maybe if you create a calendar of all the nuns, people will congregate around it. But why does he default to that democracy program? And we're going to open up phone lines. Text Hotep your name to 202-596-5631. 202-596-5631. I want you to call and I want you to argue with me. Because I'm the best debater on the planet. And I want you to call and argue with me. And we can have an honest conversation about all of this. And I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear you defend your white nationalism. Marcus Watkins says, genius stuff, HJ. They walk right into the trap. You make them expose their fruits. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Show me your work. He says, it's Hegelian. The conservatives saw through many psyops in the last 4 years. Con Inc. fend their base jingoism, nationalism, and anti-woke. Off the back of that, they got puppets like Maloney and Malay. Oh, man. Oh, man. Bingo. He gets it. He gets it. It was sold a new religion. They replaced your religion with a new religion. The Church awoke. You worship at the Church awoke. You worship at the Church awoke, the church you say you hate. So I just want to know. Is it Uchi Wally Wally? Is it one mic? And I said in the thing, I was like, yo, I like the idea of a theocracy. I think theocracies are powerful. I wouldn't mind if America was a theocracy and adhered closely to that Bible. we might look different as a nation. But there is the Moloch, the people who call themselves Jews but are not Jews, who are attacking Christian nationalism, Christianity, because they want to replace it with Satan and Moloch worship. They want to demoralize society so that people can worship. This is Freemasonry at its finest. The destruction of morality. Demoralize the society, and then you can control it. Dirt Sapiens says, but you have to understand from that perspective, they always have to be on guard against being attacked for like random nonsense. See what I'm saying? Again, you've defaulted to being a victim. You've defaulted to being a victim. You think I wake up and I worry about what the right say about me? I mean, what the left say about me? They got articles. You think I paid them shits any mind? You think that shit has affected me any way, anyhow? No. It's just telling me I'm on point.
Call from
Jackson.
Yo, what up, man? Talk to me.
Hey, I just want to hit and run real quick about being a white Christian in this country. Called in with you recently about being a swamp Yankee. My family's been white in this country since 1639, trying to tell the natives about God. It didn't work out too good for most of them.
Okay.
And I can't argue against you. I can only argue with you because you've been on point with this shit. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. What do you agree with?
What?
What do you agree with?
The questions you're asking, especially you highlighting this white people bringing up democracy this, democracy that, not answering the goddamn basic questions about what are you trying to do with your movement? What are you doing for your community?
It's that simple. And I couldn't get an answer.
It's that simple. What?
I couldn't get an answer.
You can't get an answer. I grew up in a gay Episcopalian church. I was the altar boy for 7 years in that shit. It was the most wholesome American as apple pie and whiskey shit you could ever imagine. And they are on the same tip as you, all these old gays. Same shit.
It's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. I don't get it. I just wanted a straight up answer. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, oh, he's about to crush this question. I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna give him time.
It was so easy.
So easy. And he defaulted to programming. Globalist. Sexual deviancy. Oh, so just the left, right? Like everything you teach is gonna be a response to the left. All right. So basically what you're telling me is you've lost. Got it.
Boom.
Hey man, appreciate the call, bro.
Nailed it again, Hotep.
Salute. I appreciate you, man.
Hey, well, peace out, community. Hotep and build.
Hotep and build. And like I said in the thing yesterday, I need the Christians to win. I need white people to win. This y'all country. Y'all stole it fair and square. I need y'all to win. Because if y'all win, I win. But if y'all ain't winning, I'm going to be subject. Like I always say, if the white man ain't free, I know the black man ain't free. If the white man ain't free. Now, that doesn't mean, because some people think the converse is true. They think that if the white man is free, the black man is free. That's not true. The converse is not true. However, if the white man ain't free, I'm definitely not free. Okay? Because they're the majority. They're the ones who stole this country fair and square. They settled here. They colonized it. They made babies and prospered, grew their population, spread out west. So if they ain't got rights, none of us got rights. So I need y'all to win. That's why I join these discussions. That's why I talk about this shit, because I need y'all to win. So at least I got a fighting chance at some liberty, at some freedom. We got the Patriot Act got renewed. CBDC's coming, and y'all talking about chicks with dicks. Yo, what's up, man? Who on the line?
What's up, man? Hey, you gave them the answer with the Black Jew Alliance thing.
Yeah.
And they didn't even fucking recognize it.
Bro.
What Kanye say on St. Pablo? the Jews share their truth on how to make a dime.
Yep. I did
That's the
say, I
fucking
forgot
answer.
I said
So what
that.
they need a financial incentive for the spreading of their belief set.
Mm.
And you
I
do
like
that with
that.
affiliate marketing. You do that with affiliate marketing, and you take over short form content, just like Tate.
I like that.
That's the fucking answer. All you got to do, you got to get in front of the young people. What are the young people doing? They're on TikTok. You want to get on TikTok, have an affiliate marketing program to spread your shit on TikTok.
Yeah.
It's not complicated.
I like that you reminded me about my Jewish comment yesterday, because that was so basically, to catch everybody up, I was like, yo, y'all don't work with black people. The Democrats do, the Jews do, and then the most far right of you make fun of black people for working with Jews, whether it be in entertainment, Hollywood, music, or whatever. But at least they working with us. They might be taking advantage of us in some instances, not all instances, because there are some Jews who give black people great fucking deals and are honest and say shit like, yo, you see that Jew right there? That's a bad Jew. I'm going to give you the deal you supposed to have. And that's the thing. Like, and there's stories about this. It's like when you see, I used to be an anti-Semite, but I got so deep in my studies, I was like, damn, I can't even be an anti-Semite no more, because there's too many stories of these niggas being righteous and being used by the synagogue of Moloch. So I had to stop that. But coming back to the point, where is your collaboration with the black community? Everybody's collaborating the black community and they winning, and you going, I'm not going to work with the niggas. And then wonder why you losing. It makes no sense.
Honestly, I was somewhat ashamed of my skin tone in the Twitter call yesterday. They're just circle jerking each other off.
Yeah.
You know, it was just ridiculous. That's why I can't bet myself on these people. You know, I can't bet on them to win. I can't bet on them to carry me. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I'm black pilled on the right. I am black pilled on the right. The best bet is the libertarians. They got all the intellectuals. The right has nothing. They have grifters. They are literally robbing and stealing from their people, like the pastors we all hate.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
And I mean, I grew up in the Bible Belt. You know, my dad's a Baptist preacher. You know, I'm down here in Texas. You know, I mean, these are the people that I've lived around my entire life, and they're just so freaking stupid. And they have no vision. I'm just so tired of all this stuff. That's why when you get Hotepistan going, man, I'm buying my passport, and I'm gonna be there for the energy production, man. I'm gonna be there for the energy grid. I'm applying to physics PhD programs right now for next fall. I'm gonna spend my physics PhD education on figuring out how to build the next generation energy sources. We're gonna hook it up in Hotepistan, man.
Ooh! Hotep Nation got free energy coming, y'all. You hear it? This is why we don't play color games.
Let me give you your flowers real quick, man. I've been listening to you since the first Joe Rogan episode in 2019, and you'll love this. I was out in my grandfather's field in the middle of the summer picking purple hull peas, listening to you talking about the third eye and healing people based on energy and stuff, and Africans being in the Americas before Columbus and whatnot. And I've been tapped in ever since.
That's what's up, man.
So I know who I'm betting on.
You bet on Hotep, man. You gonna get a return. I promise you that.
Hotep and Bill, man.
Hotep and Bill. Yeah, I just want better for y'all. I just want better leaders for y'all. I just want y'all to teach better. I just want y'all to pick better leaders. Let's get Goldstein in here. Strong Dad waiting in here too. We gonna get Strong Dad. Rudy is waiting too. Anybody else want to get on the phone lines? Text Hotep in your name to 202-596-5631. I want a debate. Which one of you motherfuckers want this debate? Don't be scared. And I'm nice in debate too, but that's the sad part. When I'm nice in debate, I nicely embarrass people, and that's usually worse than when you embarrass people in a mean way. So I know why some of y'all are afraid. He said HJ had them eyes wide open on that first Rogan. Yo, it's because I had my glasses off and I couldn't see. It's really what it came down to. Jamar said HJ a legend for real. Appreciate you, Jamar. We got a link, yo. I'm gonna try to get down there ASAP.
from?
Jack Reeves, the Hotep.
Jack Reeves, the Hotep, then cut the line. What's up, man? What's happening with you, man?
Oh, not much, man. Sorry, I had to cut the line. I have something really important I had to say today, man.
Okay.
And it's a message of gratitude.
Okay.
Like, literally, man. I totally agree with homeboy that just called in. And, like, I put my number in earlier, but, man, I'm going to try to keep it short-winded. Look, man, the Hotep Nation really is something great. And you are a great mentor to a great number of us.
Thank you.
And just where I'm coming from with this, man, is I've been a professional stage entertainer for 30 fucking years. And one of the coolest things that I've ever done with my musical career was have Hotep Jesus play a video of me singing and playing guitar on his show, man.
That shit was great. That was a classic moment, man.
Yeah, and Ken said you posted it on Twitter and shit too, man.
Yeah.
Man, God bless you, brother. I mean, that was fucking, when I heard that, dude, fuck, man, that was like my Christmas present with Ken. He's like, yeah, Jay posted this shit, and then fucking Cannon played it on his show. He's like, damn, bro, you can sing and shit, man. I mean, like, literally, dude, I played at the world's largest convention center for the world's largest vaping convention in the entertainment capital of the world, which is Las Vegas, right? So, like, literally, that shit, you playing a video of me singing and playing guitar on your channel and putting it on X or whatever the fuck they call it, man, that's right up there. That's like in the top fucking 3 coolest things I've ever done with my music career.
Because, Jack, I was on the other side. I was where you were, right? Like, and you know, this kind of relates to the whole, you know, legend of Hotep Jesus, because when I was this starving artist, I remember it was this radio station called Bad Girl Radio, and they were based out of New Jersey. And me and Demick had toured. We had did everything an artist needed to do except sell 1 million albums. We didn't even go gold because, for whatever reason, because we don't have the backing of the label and stuff. So, or a big budget. But we had done tours and everything. I reached out to him. I said, y'all want to get on the radio show, get some exposure for our music, da-da-da. We just dropped the album. Nothing. Then I got the job with 50 Cent, working for that startup that had him as an investor. And then they called me and said, yo, we'd love to have you on the radio station. And I'm like, oh, because now you see me with 50. So what I understood was, and another story, I told you about this before, the big blog era. I submitted my music. He wouldn't post my shit. I told him, I said, yo, you live 15 minutes from me. I will find you. He posted my shit. So what you got are like gatekeepers, right? And I recognized that there were gatekeepers in these different industries. And I was like, yo, I'm going to kick the fucking door down wherever I go. And then I'm going to open that shit for people. I'm not going to gatekeep. Anytime I got a chance to share my platform or give somebody else a voice, that's what I'm going to do, because I hate gatekeepers, because I had to deal with them. So y'all will always have a voice over here.
Oh, man, God bless you, brother.
God bless.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, I called you mentor for a reason. Like, literally, I showed up here, 6, 7 months ago, you know, just on the doorstep of Hotepistan, like, hey, what are you guys doing in there? You know, I called in a couple of times, and, you know, we talked about, you know, history, and I don't think we've ever talked about politics, you know, mainly like economics and history and shit. And, you know, we always have cool conversations and shit, but and it's the last show of the year. I haven't called in months, man. I just had to, you know, I was thinking yesterday I was going to call in, but I was like, oh, you know, they're kind of on the subject. And then I don't really care about white Christian nationalists. My wife's Catholic. I'm fucking Viking. I worship many gods. You know, I love Jesus too. He's cool. You know, I follow, fucking listen to Sermon on the Mount, dude. It's one of the greatest fucking things anybody's ever spoken in public. But, you know, I kind of reach into, you know, everything, you know, as far as the, whatever you want to call it, philosophical, metaphorical faith, man. You got to have faith. You know, there's a lot of shit people say, but having faith in
you know, in everything, you know, Mother Nature doesn't need fucking to rush. Everything gets taken care of. You know, just have faith, you know, and know that everything is going to happen. Everything happens
And
for
do
a
the
reason.
work. And do the work. Faith and do the work.
Yes, and don't ever regret anything. You can have grief, but you must not regret anything, because if you regret it, then you haven't fucking learned from it.
Right.
You can feel grief for your mistakes and the things you've done wrong. You know what? But you know, this journey we're all on, it's a fucking lesson. If you don't learn, then you're stuck behind. You're living in the fucking past, and it's all about moving forward. And you know, that's what, you know, fucking dude, Mentor, you fucking changed my outlook on a great many things.
Appreciate you.
And the way I conduct myself with people is different now. You know, the way I talk. You know, like fucking people are like, what are you talking about? This Hotep shit? Is that like some Egypt guy or something? I'm like, no, actually he was Ethiopian, but that's a story for another cocktail and shit. Knowledge is given freely, but secrets will cost you cocktails. That's what I tell people and shit. You know, I always spit knowledge, but you know, there's only so much you can give out, man, and you give so much. That's why, you know, I consider you a mentor.
Thank you.
In this realm of fucking the cycle, what's going on in the universe. Wise man once said, you know, if you only study one planet, you'll never get the fucking vastness of a universe. You know, and I'm trying to do cosmic shit, you know, like all this earth human fucking shit, all these. Look, I'm not with these people, man. I'm trying to figure shit out on a larger fucking scale here, dude. I'm not with these people. I don't care about your fucking politics or your race or anything. It's fucking like Brother Rudy says, man, if you're still on that shit in 2023, you're living in the past, man. You know what? And don't fucking regret anything. Embrace your grief. Learn from it. Learn from your mistakes. Motherfucking keep hotepping and building. And one day, brother, your dream will come true, because I know it's manifested in a great many of things in this fucking roots of this tree that is growing. And, you know, and Hotepistan will exist one day. I totally fucking see it, man.
Oh, it will. I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned. It's going to start with one building and then more.
Yeah, and if you guys will let me play in the Hotep Lazula Lounge and shit every Friday night, I'll come in and play you some good old country music. Everybody thinks I'm a metalhead because I look like a Viking.
When we wake up in the morning, you'll be blasted across our radios as the rooster cockadoodle doos. We'll have right after that, you'll be playing a medley through the loudspeakers every morning. It could be a recording or it could be live. I want to wake up to that good old Jack Reeves country music in Hotepistan.
Oh, it'll be a new song every single day, man.
I love it.
Even if I have to write them, even if I run out of songs, man. I tell people I've forgotten more songs than most musicians ever learned, and that's a fucking fact, dude.
I know that's right.
But hey, man, I'm gonna let you get back to the show.
Thank you.
Again, Hotep Jesus, you are a mentor. You're a great man. You are the light. You are the one. Keep it going, man. And just know that we're all behind you, brother.
I appreciate you, man. I need y'all.
I'll be standing 10 toes at your back. You know, anything you want, man. You want me to make some songs, fucking medleys, diddlies, fucking, you know, music shit, dude. I can do any style of music. Fucking, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do, man, fucking hit me up. I'm right here for you, brother.
Say less. I appreciate you, Jack. Hotep and Bill.
All right, man. Hotep and Bill, brother.
Call from
Murphy's
Law Rescue. To accept.
Goldstein on the check-in. What up, Goldstein?
What up, man?
What's good with him, man? Happy Friday.
You know, same old. Happy Friday to you.
Yeah. What do you think about this whole Christian nationalism situation? Is it white Christian nationalism? Is it not white Christian nationalism? Or what do you have for us?
It is Christian nationalism, white Christian nationalism. But I do think that the reason why they don't necessarily reach out to the black community, because if you listen to dude's question, he said that Christians, Latinos, yada, 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 you were there. But he said that they would be the most likely to be the biggest supporters of this, right? And that's because based on the question itself, it's like, would you like a a nation ran by Christian laws, governed by the Bible, yada, yada, yada,
right,
most of them will say yes. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, and here's why their outreach doesn't necessarily extend into the black community, and when it does, it falls flat on its face. It's not necessarily based on race. It's based on the fact that most black people, and I'm just going to speak exclusively on us, most black people understand that nationalism is an affront to the Bible. It's an affront to God. It's an affront to the gospel.
And we don't fuck with the government.
Right.
And that's the difference. I think that's one key difference. I forgot to touch on that earlier, but that's the one key difference between white people and black people. White people are beginning to have a distrust in government, but they still look to government to solve problems, whereas black people have complete and total distrust of government. So that could be a deciding factor on why there's no collaboration.
Right. You know, black people are very in tune with the gospel, as it were, for right or wrong, whatever your opinion is on that. The facts are black people are very in tune to what the Bible says.
Yes.
And nationalism in and of itself is about as anti-biblical as it gets. So Christian nationalism doesn't resonate with black folks. Black folks are of the mindset that, like the Bible says, you are in the world, but you are not of the world. All right, and black folks also understand the principle of the gospel when it says, like 1 John 2:15, do not love the world or anything in the world. And last time I checked, and world is not used in the sense of earth, of course. It's used in the man-made systems of the world. And when it says do not love the world or anything in the world, it's specifically talking about love of nation. So it's just one of them things, and I could go on and on about that, but I don't have too much time. But it goes on and on about how nationalism, just on its face, is an antithesis to the gospel. So to sit and try and build Christian nationalism, I've used this analogy before, but I'll use it again for anyone who hasn't heard it. There was a point in the gospel where the devil himself offered Jesus all of the nations of the world at a certain point in time. And Jesus said no. It wasn't because, oh yeah, I already own these. That wasn't the case, because the Bible goes on to say that Satan is the god of this world, right? So they were definitely Satan's to give. The reason he said no is because nationalism is an affront to God. It would basically be him taking the nations of the world and putting them in a place of authority over God's word itself. And here these fools are 2,000 years later trying to collect that offer. Yeah, we'll take them. We make Christian nations. We'll make Christian nations. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a real Hotep brother.
See, I ain't know all of that. I can't wait to get into my Bible studies.
Man, this right here, Christian nationalism and trying to be a boon against that shit is the only reason I tap back into social media. So this is kind of my wheelhouse. This is why I stay so hard on Bryson Gray's head, Paul, because that's what he's all about.
So you're saying the term Christian nationalism is almost an oxymoron?
It very much is. It very much is. You're not supposed to be down here nation building. You're supposed to be down here building the spirit and souls of the individual. Your kingdom is not here if you're a Christian. This is how they think. This is how they believe. This is what the book tells them to believe. Your kingdom is not here. It won't be found here. What will happen, though, is that this world will become progressively worse, progressively more antagonistic towards you, to the point of actually beheading you guys in the streets. That's what the Revelation says.
So what are you down here wasting time trying to build nations for when the only thing that's going to right the ship is the return of your Messiah? Not the ballot. The ballot ain't going to do it. So you need to be more focused on building the spirit of man so that way they can inherit that kingdom after this one passes away.
Bars.
But I'm going to let you get back to it, though, because I got some people here adopting shit, and I just took the time to come over here and say some shit real quick.
All right, man. Whisper to the animals for me, bro.
Will do.
Whole type of bill. That's one thing about me. I fucking love animals. I love animals. Everything except cats. Cats, you know, God never should have made cats. Goldstein cussing me out right now for saying that. Cats aren't too bad. They're like, cats are like women. Hold on. We got Strong Dad then Rudy. Hold on. Who is that? Strong Dad? Strong Dad don't wait for nobody.
Call from.
That's why his name's Strong Dad. Strong Dad, what's up, man?
What's cracking? What's cracking?
What's your way in on white nationalism, man? Oh, I'm sorry, white Christian nationalism.
So, as people know, I was incarcerated like Goldstein and like Rudy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was incarcerated here in Colorado, and the two primary gangs are Hispanic gangs, Sureños, and white gangs. It's broken into two. One is the National Knights Party, and the other are the 211s. So it's kind of like the gangster version white nationalists.
Okay.
Than the legitimate white nationalists.
Right.
Well, within the National Knights, within their doctrine, I was locked up with a lot of these dudes. My last 2.5 years was at a really low-class facility because I was a good dude at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
And there, you're in close proximity with pretty much everybody who's just trying to get out. You know, they might be affiliated very strongly still, but they're trying to get out. So there's a lot of camaraderie and a lot of talking. And so I've spoken to and had many conversations with dudes who call themselves white Christian nationalists because they differentiate themselves from strict white nationalists and those of their subgroup, right?
Okay.
They are white Christian nationalists. And what I have been told by them, this is just what, shot callers and dudes higher up, because the dudes at the low rungs aren't allowed to just talk to black people. But the dudes in the higher ups can talk to us. And so I've had a lot of conversations with the dudes. And what they'll say is that for them, their doctrine means, one, having a white family, right? The basics, right? Raising a white family, as little government intervention as possible, whatever religion their household presides over, and for them, they don't mince, they don't really care if it's anything outside of strict Christianity, just as long as it's not strict Judaism or Islam or something like that. There's a guy named Christensen who was a shot caller for 25 years in one of our units, and this dude was Jewish. So they very much are more about their white identity than being Christian. Because they get asked by dudes like us who are more inquisitive all the time. How can you be Jewish and be this or, and a lot of them, it's the structure and the face of Christianity that matters more than the act for them. So, as long as you have a white household, you're a functioning member of society, you only communicate with other races when it comes to business practices, and you are, secular with your religion, as long as you're following those guidelines, to them, you are white. When you, mix with the groups, go in and out of religions, things like that, they call you Caucasian. Now, I don't know what it is like in other places, but I am in Colorado, which, by the way, there's a massive, population of white supremacist gangs out here. So this ideology isn't just here, but you hear it primarily here from some of them. So, when I look at what the right is trying to do, and like how that, how things were in your space, I don't see it as Christian or white Christian nationalism, because they have less of an identity than the ones that I've encountered. When I ask them dudes what they believe, they can tell me within, a heartbeat. This dude Christensen, we sat on the yard for an hour and a half, and there was never a moment where he had to, incite someone else to affirm what he believed and what his family was going for, or his people. So for me,
my argument is, you have the white nationalists, white Christian nationalists, like the ones you talk about, who say it. Then you got the ones who are too afraid to say it. And it's still white Christian nationalism. Two different motives, right? Like the white nationalist that you were in jail with has his shit together. He knows what he wants. Then you got the one who is like, I don't want to say this is for white people, but I also too afraid to work with black people. And I don't really know what my mission is, but the fact that it's all white people makes it white nationalism.
Exactly. And for me, that fear to articulate what it really is, just off the jump, is what, in my mind, just separates them entirely until they're ready to make that, and because you can't be for these things and pussyfoot around the primary core of it. Mm-hmm. And that's what it seems, it seems like they're trying to infer that they're, white Christian nationalists, right, so that you can just say they are. They don't have to just come out and be like, this is what I believe. Mm-hmm. To be honest, man, the right's gay, man. They turning gay. Mm-hmm. And they're losing all their steam in all of these dumbass arguments, instead of just saying, hey, I want to have my white family. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you have your black family, but I want to have my white family. I want my Christianity or whatever. I don't want gay shit in my household. There's nothing wrong with saying all of that, but they're just worried about what everybody else is thinking because they're adopting that left mentality.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it is. They're adopting a white leftist mentality and then basing their entire mission around it. And that's, to me, is just hustling backwards.
I liked communicating with the ones that I was locked up with, because
I like them too, because at least you can have a real conversation. You ask them a question, 100%. And they give you an answer. You ask these motherfuckers, 100%. They start complaining about gay people. It's like, yo, we won't even talk about gay people.
Yeah, they're very clear about what they believe in, and they don't have it's like a Garvey meeting with the Klan type thing. They can have that conversation because they really are about that. You know what I'm saying? Encountering someone other is not going to shake the foundation of their beliefs, so they don't have a problem doing so. There were dudes who would kick it with me when I first really found out how strict it was like, the first month or so. I went to sit down with one of these white dudes who was cool with me in the pod. And he got up and he was like, hey man, we can't sit together. He's like, we can hang out in the pod, but we cannot sit together. We have rules. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that he, there's no fear in saying that, there's no fear in establishing that boundary. And I mean, quite frankly, if we all were able to just articulate that, then I don't see why we couldn't, work together. I want to have a black family. I want to have my black household, you know what I'm saying, with my black religion and my black Kwans and shit. But I don't want to encroach on your life.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I very much want you to understand this is who I am, but I will gladly embrace who you are as long as you are not trying to encroach on my life as well. It's
boom.
Fucking growth spine, y'all. Come on now.
Right. Simple as that.
Well, yeah, that's all I got.
Appreciate you, man. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you in the new year.
Yeah, that's right. Hotep and Bill.
Hotep and Bill. Get Rudy to call in. Let's get Rudy in here. We got Rudy. Who else we got in here? 1, 2, 3, 4. We got Rudy and 4 more callers, including AK Kamara. I want to take a look at some of the responses here to my question. If Christian nationalism is not a white movement, why is there no collaboration with the black church? And I just love to look at responses. I love asking questions like this, just to look at the responses to see who's thinking, who's not, who's regurgitating talking points, who's mentally defeated. And we're going to see there's a lot of mentally defeated people here.
Call from
Rudy the Vet.
Rudy, what's up, man?
What's going on, brother? How you doing today?
I'm good, man. Happy Friday, man. So what do you think about this whole topic?
Brother, I ain't listen. I got some devastating news today, man. You know what I'm saying? I just called up to thank you, brother. Because shit's 2023 has been shit to me, man. And when I drove up to Jersey to meet you, I told you, man, this show is the only thing that's giving me any hope, man. So, just want to thank you again, man, because, what I got today, man, was total punch to the gut, man.
Damn.
But I listen, all I could think of, after I got the news and everything's falling, the chips are falling where they may, man. I just think about you talking about my first act, my second act, my third act. So I guess it's time, that motivation of you saying that all the time kind of popped in my head, man. So it looks like it's 2024 is time to start the third act, brother.
Time for the third act.
Yeah, time for the third act, man. So as down as I am today, man, the Hotep Jesus, the Hotep Nation, listening to y'all every day for a year, man. Every day, religiously, man. The shit everybody's going through, the shit everybody talks about, man. It just keeps a motherfucker going, brother. Keeps a motherfucker going. So 2024, like I'm gonna eat this day. 2024, it's all gonna change to positive energy and outcomes, man.
Yes, sir.
Positive energy and outcomes, man.
Yes,
but I just want to thank you again, man, because today was a hard one, man. But I come out, put on the show, like how I feel about fucking racists, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like you said, man, like the only thing I could say on today's show is I got three major churches in the town I live in. I got the white church, I got the black church, and then there's a church that's like 50-50. And when I ride by on Sundays when I'm going fishing or I'm going to the store to get some football food or something, it always seems like the people at the mixed church are the ones that look the happiest, man. You know what I mean? It just does, bro. It just does. Like I can't say for 100% because I'm not on the ground out there talking. But when I ride by, the people pouring out of the white church look miserable. The people pouring out of the black church look miserable. But the one that's 50-50, half black, half white, they all look like they're smiling and having a good time, man. So on that, if we all can't come together, the Zaddy government's gonna, and the Malachians are gonna just put you in the dirt, man.
Yeah.
But like I said, man, when I met you in Jersey, man, like, brother, you don't know what this show's done for me, man. Giving me a little bit of a purpose when the world turned dark, man, and the world got real dark today. And then the Hoteps came on and kind of lifted my spirits, man. So I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank everybody in the chat, man, for listening to the rantings of a raving lunatic. But I love you, brother. Hotep and Bill, everybody, and Happy New Year, man.
All right, man. Much love to you. Happy New Year, bro. Hey, let me get some prayer hands in the chat for Rudy. Let me get the prayer hands in the chat for Rudy, man. I done dealt with 2 deaths this year. Hard to deal with. Hard to deal with. Start the AK. We got 3 more calls after AK. So we're gonna get to all the callers. We got time. Can you explain what you mean by Moloch? I'll let Goldstein handle that. He's the one that put me on. Him and Jonah. Retro Neon, he said, I'll always say this. If motherfuckers from the left call me far-right conspiracy theorist, then I am a far-right conspiracy theorist, goddammit, and proud of it. Stop being a victim. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
It's the attitude you got to have. Stop being a bitch. Rogan ain't bitch when they wrote all them articles about him. He kept putting out podcasts. Kept it pushing.
Call from
AK.
AK, what up, man?
What up, HJ?
What's good with it, man? What you got for us today?
You know, man, I got a lot. So I grew up, you know, in a mixed religious household, but my mom, you know, she helped kind of push me and my siblings, if we wanted it, into Christianity. And my dad, he would, you know, he said, like, if you don't want to learn about Islam, like, I'll teach you. And so, you know, I was inquisitive. I asked questions. I wanted to have a good place, but I really did dive into Christianity like hardcore, right? Mm-hmm. And so because I dove into Christianity, like I went deep, like I understand fundamentally a lot about Christianity, to the point that if you want to say it in a way, I've been blessed by the Spirit. Like I've had interactions with angels, with demons. I've seen like prayer actually heal people. And the thing that upsets me so much is all of these LARPers, all right? All of these people that say, oh, I'm a Christian nationalist. It's literally impossible, because Christianity means to be Christ-like. And if you are going to go out there and push a belief of Christianity and then attach nationalism to it, that is of the devil. That is demonic. Okay? Christ-like means to be Christian. And here's the thing. I am a Christian. That's my belief, but I don't go out there. I don't go out there and try and proselytize and push people to Christianity, because there is a weight that is measured on your heart. And I know that there's going to be fundamentalists that say, you know what, if you accept Christ, then it is your job every day to go out there and live your life Christ-like. But I know that you know, as a human, I'm full of sin and I fall short of that glory. But nothing upsets me more than someone that goes out there and says, oh, I'm a Christian nationalist. And it's very simple. If you are a Christian, your job is to be Christ-like. Christ calls you to be a person of this realm, to go out and spread Christ's message. So guess what? Borders don't matter. Race doesn't matter. And none of that matters, because you are out there to talk to God's children, to let them know of God's presence, and then to teach them about Christ. So how can you say that you want to have a nation that has defined borders, that has a duty and obligation to the people of that nation above and beyond other people, and then say, I want it to be Christian? That literally makes no sense, unless your idea of Christian nationalism is that you're going to turn the entire globe into one giant nation. Then I guess I could say that you're a Christian nationalist.
I like that.
And here's the other aspect too, right? Is that when you see a grift, you see it from a mile away. When I first started seeing these Christian nationalists, you are spot on when you say that it's white Christian nationalists, because what it really is just white identitarianism, but they want to attach Christianity to it because they know that there's a lot of people in the United States that are open to Christianity. Right. And when you go out there and you say the Christian values, right? Like you go out there and say, oh, you know, we need to put back the 10 Commandments and we need to live a more biblical life. Again, that is demonic, man. You can't attach things of this earth to Christ. Now you can go and live as Christ teaches and commands us, and you can go out there and you can be a member of your community and you can love others like Christ. But to take that identity and try and force it into government is literally demonic, man. Like, that's of Satan. You cannot do that. And anyone that believes that you can do that, you need to go and read your Bible a little bit more and understand that Christ doesn't care about borders. So, you know, on the left, they try and jab the right, and especially, you know, people that call themselves Christians, that call themselves Republican or conservative, and they'll say like, oh, Jesus was a socialist.
Yes, Jesus was from a standpoint that he doesn't care. He wanted to give bounty to all that wanted to accept the bounty, right? So Christ, he goes out there and he wants to try and heal people so they know God's love, right? So from that aspect, yes, Christ was a socialist, but from a government perspective, no, because Christ would say, who cares about the government? Go and love each other, love on each other. But that doesn't work if you're actually trying to institute a country. So this is this weird intersection. Like, you can be a Christian and go and be involved in government and be involved in your community, that's great. But to act as though you can supersede a church, or that you can bring a church-like movement to the rest of the nation and still believe that that would be of Christ, is blasphemy, man. So I had to get up on that soapbox, man. And yesterday I told you that when it comes to human beings, we have this tendency to want to galvanize power. And that's exactly what this is, right? Anyone that is in this white nationalist or, Christian nationalist that tries to reject the white aspect of it, they're just using it to coalesce power. They want their group to have more power. And it's blasphemy, man. So just wanted to get on my soapbox and say all that.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for calling in.
All right, man. Yeah, Hotep and Bill.
So AK agrees with Goldstein. Thinks it's haram. Let's start to Tari. Tari want to check in. Let's check on him. We got how many phone calls left? I got a message from Wholesome White Woman. She sent me blessings. Happy New Year to Wholesome White Woman. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my Rumblers rumbling. I'm checking on you. I see y'all. YouTube send me more money, so they get more love. Shout out to my Cash Appers, Cash Apping. I do want to take a look at some of the responses here. I knew I'd get some interesting responses. Some of these predictable, some of these just a bit unpredictable, I guess. So then you got the deflector. I would call this guy the deflector. Who is not collaborating with whom? Faults on both sides, I think. Yeah, that's what they all say. It just seems like the Democrats are there and the Jews are there, but the white conservatives aren't there. So is it really both sides? I don't know about that. Because if you had to go on a mission, you would seek out people to work with. But anyway, what's another one here? I live in Tennessee. There's definitely just as many black Christian nationalists as there are white Christian nationalists. That doesn't answer my question, I think, right? I don't think that answers my question. What is my question? I don't know. Yeah, we're talking about collaboration. She didn't mention anything about collaboration. So, okay. So, where's the collaboration? Who we got on the line? Tari, what up, man?
What up?
What's good with it, man? What you got for us today?
When I was listening in on the space yesterday, and I appreciate Goldstein, man. I always appreciate Goldstein. Like, he came in with exactly the heat that we needed.
Yeah.
But I like the pushback you were giving too, and I saw what you were doing from the beginning, and it was funny to me that he didn't pick up on it, and then he kind of just continued to go back into that realm, like, oh, we need to make sure we reaffirm these Christian values and yada yada yada. Blah. I'm like, man, really? Like, you didn't get the hint yet? Like, he didn't seem to get the hint. I think the problem is, they don't seem that they really can't understand anything other than their theology, right? Because everybody who called in today basically broke down that it's anti-Christian. And I mean, it should be obvious, because, like Goldstein said, you're supposed to be tending to the fruits of the people directly. It's about people's relationship with God and Christ, essentially. And just like AK said, I think he might have even touched on it while y'all were in the space, right? I think he mentioned the whole, like, they were called Christian as a derogative originally, as like little Christ. So it's like exactly what AK said. It's like you would literally not be being like Christ if you were to be out here like, oh yeah, this is a Christian nation. I'm gonna fight for my nation. I mean, there's nothing wrong with fighting for your nation, right? Because at the end of the day, things like your family and your people, your community, essentially, right? Your church is typically going to be where your nation is.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a difference between, you know, fighting for your people, wanting the betterment of your people, the church itself, which is supposed to be the body of Christ, right? The church is supposed to be the people, the congregation. And that's not even technically supposed to be connected to a building or anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you take that into account. It's like, if you're supposed to be tending to the church, the government ain't the church. In fact, you know how often they tell you that they said the separation of church and state was supposed to protect the church from the state. Well, if the church is the people, then, and this institution is what you're trying to protect from the state, then why would you be trying to create Christian nationalism?
Good question.
You're not going to protect it. You're just going to intertwine yourself in it.
Yep.
And that's part of what I kind of wanted to like say in the space yesterday, is that what you got to understand is that there's nothing wrong with kind of using the mechanisms of government to keep you guys safe, right? I mean, even the Jews do that, right? It's just perfectly reasonable. But it's when you say, oh, no, we want to take the power of state into our own hands, is when you go wrong. And they don't seem to be able to separate the two. Like, they think that they need the power in order to survive. But just like Goldstein said, you know, they said, you already know it's going to get worse before it gets better. It's going to get all the way bad, and you're not going to be able to do anything about it, because the only way is through who? It's like, I don't even have to like follow the religion to understand these things, you know. So people really need to think, you know, are you truly following the word? I'll say, because what you really need to do is focus on the people. You know, you need to focus on that spirit, because when the day comes, when those end times come, that's when the true believers you'll see who the true believers are. And some of those people you might not think might come to the truth at that last second. And it might be because of you.
Right.
Because you actually did your job as a Christian. That's what I had to say, though.
Hey, I appreciate you. Good words. On point.
Man,
good. See you in the new year. Good question right there. Sometimes I ask these questions because I just don't know the answer. Sometimes I don't. Like, I know who some of the investors of the United States were, but I love getting supplemental information. So some of the responses here to the question. Hold on, let me get the next caller in here. Calling. If Christian nationalism is not a white movement, why is there no collaboration with the black church? He says, I live in Tennessee. There's definitely just as many black Christian nationalists here as white Christian nationalists. And I said, where's the collaboration? Right. So, black Christian nationalists are already a thing. Go to Chicago sometime and find out. It's white Christians who are targeted for atomization and extermination. Okay. But where's the collaboration? This guy says black churches are bastions of social justice. It's fucking true as shit. I'll tell you that. True as fucking shit. Which is why you gotta fucking infiltrate them bitches. Because most churches are a mix of all races and in fact would be condemned if they operated like an all-black church. What? Nah, it's definitely some all-black churches. A better question is, why is there a black church? It's either church or it's not. So I hate this shit. This the unintellectual shit I hate to get into. It's like people live in this. So this is called idealism versus realism, where they be like, "Oh, this is what the world should be like," instead of looking at like, "Okay, here is what the world is actually like." Okay, and why is there a black church? Well, cause fucking Jim Crow, motherfucker. Like, what do you mean? Why is there a black church? And other factors. I've never been to a white church. I know that black churches are a thing. I grew up in both the black and the white church. So I grew up Catholic, but I also went to my grandma's church for special events. And I got to be honest with you, I preferred the white church. And the only reason why I preferred the white church is because I was a little boy and I didn't like church, period. And Catholic mass was 1 hour and the black church was like 5. And I'm like, yo, can we just go home, yo? I'm tired of listening to people talk. You know what I mean? So really just me being a little kid. But I would say the black church came with food. We used to run around in the hallways and shit like that after mass or after congregation. So it was a little bit more fun, I would say. The black church is definitely more fun. I have never been to a white church. I know that black churches are a thing. The conversation isn't about white versus black, as many want this to be. It's about all people refusing to divide themselves into demographics that serve the globalist demographic plantation. So there we go. I just, again, they keep mentioning the globalists, and I'm just like, yo, answer the question. Why is there no collaboration? You're not wrong, but it's not Christian, just Christian nationalism. That's too easy of a pigeonhole for the left. Nationalism is nationalism. All right, so again, not answering the question. Christian white nationalism is a Diet Coke of white nationalism. All the way down the pipeline, white nationalists reject Christianity as a Jew enforcing thing, and their religious beliefs are Celtics because it predates Christianity. It's a fairly good assessment. Actually, a really good assessment of reality, and why there is no collaboration. So he actually answered my question, right? Because Christian nationalism is Diet Coke of white nationalism, and white nationalism, true white nationalism, rejects Christianity as a Jew enforced thing. They hate the term Judeo-Christian, and they think those two things are diametrically opposed. So that's a pretty good answer. I'm a Catholic, so I would like to hear about this black church. Sounds like a Rockefeller creation to keep us divided. And for the record, this is Cardinal Sarah. Hopefully he's the next pope. He's theologically the most sound. So again, somebody who doesn't want to deal with the fact that there are black churches, and he thinks that Rockefeller created that. I don't know. Maybe Rockefeller did, contribute to Jim Crow. I wouldn't doubt that, actually. He says, this one person says here, do they want to? My question is, go find out. You'd be surprised how open-minded people are, yo. And I'm not talking about black people, like all people. A lot of people are generally really nice and are open-minded. And if you come correct, they'll fuck with you. These labels are meaningless. So again, idealism versus realism, right? Subjectivity versus objectivity. This person says it's progressivism. So again, somebody's still stuck on the progressive plantation and those talking points. Again, I didn't mention progressives. We're talking about collaboration. It says collaboration will be complicit in aiding authoritarianism. That's fucking weird as shit. So they believe that again, this is something I mentioned in the space yesterday. I'm like, yo, white people on the right technically can't work with black people because this is how people think. This is how their congregation thinks. Collaboration would be complicit in aiding authoritarianism. So they believe that if white Christians were to collaborate with the black church, they are contributing to authoritarianism purely because of identity politics. Right? This is how the right thinks. This is why you can't have the collaboration, because the white is trapped in this bubble created by the left, this intellectual bubble or lack thereof. Because of how long Democrats have pandered to the black community, they've been propagandized to think white people are racist. Okay, so this is actually a fairly decent answer to the question. It's dealing in reality. And again, reinforces what I said before about why there's no collaboration. Because if you do collaborate, what do they think? They'll think you're a Democrat because they've pandered. But he kind of contradicts himself, because he says the Democrats pandered to the black community, but the black community has been propagandized to think white people are racist. So either the black community does not want to do anything with white people, or they do. If they don't want anything to do with white people, Democrats wouldn't be able to pander to them. They wouldn't be in the black church. Next question. I don't know much about black churches, but don't women have a big role in de facto leadership? Don't women have a big role in the de facto leadership there? Would black women be interested in something that looks as goofy as Normieville as Christian nationalism? Oof. Now, those are some really good questions. Those are some really, really good questions. Now, the black church, for the most part, has a male pastor. But he's right. Black women do run that shit, and a lot of them are boomers, and a lot of them don't fuck with the Republican shit. So you're going to have to cross that bridge. The question is, do you have the heart to do it? Do you have the courage to do it? Do you have the intellectual capacity to do it? That's what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to you. It's not really about them. Because psychology is psychology. If a black man can convince people in the KKK to leave the KKK, you can definitely infiltrate the black church as a Republican.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
If a black man can speak to KKK members and stand next to KKK members and convince them to defect from the KKK and drop their hate, you mean to tell me you can't use psychology to talk to people in the church? I don't know. Little Alien says, I don't think collaboration of any kind even exists in Christian nationalism. You might be right. This guy here, again, idealism. What, quote unquote, black church? Some churches have mostly or all black congregations, but should they be treated any different or looked upon in any other way than other churches for that? Again, I'm going to refer back to what my white Christian nationalist buddy said yesterday. They looked at the data and they said black people are Christian nationalists. This is the data. So again, idealism versus realism. Realism, we're going to look at the data. What does the real data say? And it says that black people are very much in favor of following the Bible, and laws should be created around the Bible. So he says, should they be treated any different? From a psychological perspective, all individuals and groups of people must be treated differently. You don't handle a woman like you handle a man. And I wouldn't talk to a cracker like I talk to a nigga. I wouldn't talk to a child like I talk to an adult. Those are two different psychological circumstances. So what you have here is called, this is what I would call intellectual laziness. Intellectual laziness. They want to treat everybody the same. They want to talk to all people the same. They don't want to finesse a damn thing. They just want to be the same milquetoast, milk dud, fucking bland, no seasoning white people that even white people don't like. This person says no such thing as a black church. All right, next. Who cares? This is the general. I would say this is probably the most common thing is they don't care about collaborating with blacks. This guy says because blacks hate them. I don't think that's true. The reason there's no collaboration is because the white church is indifferent to the plight of the black community, and the black church has compromised God's word by ignoring the anti-family agenda of the Democratic Party. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, that's not true. If you're going to find somebody that's going to be homophobic, you're going to find it in the black church. You ain't seen homophobia till you went to a black church. Where's the clip? Hold on, I'm going to show you. Hold on. Wait, where is the famous clip? There's a famous clip. This is recent too. Where is it? Hold on. Where's the video? Oh, come on, man. Stop. Get that off my screen. Hold on. I hate Twitter. They really got to remove that porn off of Twitter. Here you go, right here. This is the black church. Let's make sure. And see, this is why I say we got to deal with reality. So I'm always going to try and show you evidence where I can. Let's watch the clip.
You need God to do. He just told you it's done right now. What did you come here for? What did you come down here for? Tell me.
To get delivered more.
To get delivered. Do you believe that the Lord tonight has set you free?
Yes, sir.
Turn around and tell those people. Tell them.
I'm not gay no more.
I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women. I said women. I'm not gay. I would not date a man. I would not carry a purse. I would not put on makeup. I will love a woman.
You see what I'm saying? This is how you know these people don't got no proximity to black folks. This is a meme in our community. That is the church. In order to be delivered, you gotta be straight. I'm not gay. I don't like men's no more. I will not wear makeup. And what did he say? The black church has compromised God's word by ignoring the anti-family agenda of the Democratic Party. That's wholly false, and I just showed it to you. And that's popular. This how many times this video has flown around Black Twitter? For years now. The black church is some of the most homophobic people you will find in this country. I am delivered. Huh? He said this clip needs to be Yo, we got to make this clip an NFT, bro. Okay? So this is what I'm saying. Like, these people are completely detached from reality. Now, he says there's no collaboration because the white church is indifferent to the plight of the black community. And that fact check is true. Because maybe on the ground level, something different happened. But the only people that grieved after the massacre of black people in the church by Dylan Roof were pretty much black people. You didn't have anybody on the right pretty much say, hey, that was, egregious act, and I send my hearts and to all to the families. Nobody's really done that. Okay. So again, I just showed you right there. We got to play it again. I got to play it again. Just
you need God to do. He just told you it's done right now.
You telling me white people can't work with this? You can't work with these? Show me the clip in the white church saying this. Y'all scared. Y'all scared to say this shit.
What did you come here for? What did you come down here for? Tell me.
To get delivered more.
To get delivered. Do you believe that the Lord tonight has set you free?
Yes, sir.
Turn around and tell those people. Tell them.
I'm not gay no more.
I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women. I said women. I'm not gay. I would not date a man. I would not carry a purse. I would not put on makeup. I will love a woman. Now listen, y'all praise God with him. Hold on.
Ah, this is great. This is great. This is great. If you're going to watch my show, please do not repeat the talking point that black people vote Democrat. Don't repeat that. It's an ignorant talking point. It's an ignorant talking point. And I'm a rebuttal like I always rebuttal. The race of people who vote at the highest rate are white people. I think Asians are last. I think Asians vote at the lowest rate out of all people, meaning they have no trust in government. They don't believe in it. Black people do not vote. Less than half of black people vote. So we're not even participating in this in the system. So if you're going to talk about black people, you got to be very specific. And I usually boil it down to black female boomers. If you're going to say it, say that. Say, yo, black boomers is voting Democrat. Okay. Now we getting specific, but don't say black people because niggas don't vote. We don't vote. Y'all believe in the system. Y'all vote. Then y'all get mad when I remember that one year I got castigated because I came out and I said I don't vote. And everybody was mad because they was like, oh, yeah, you told us to vote Trump. Yeah, I told you to vote. I'm not fucking voting. I don't want them looking back in history at my voting record and going, oh, this nigga believed in the government. No, I want them to look and see, yo, this nigga ain't vote. Why didn't he vote? That's what I want people to see. Okay? Y'all on record for voting. Y'all believe in the bullshit ass system. So I'm gonna tell y'all, if you gonna use your bullshit ass vote that don't mean shit, make sure you put it on Trump's card. All right? It's just that simple. Black people don't vote. Please stop repeating that line. Where's these callers at? Why y'all not calling in? I got shit to do. It's Friday, man. Wholesome White Woman said, give her number to Rudy. Where's Rudy? There you go. I gave Rudy your number. She, if you need somebody to talk to Rudy, Wholesome White Woman has offered her services. Oh, I didn't even see Taylor there. Taylor, go ahead, call her, man. Let's go back to the questions. Conceptual James says daily, this Christian national movement is a psyop. I heard his reasonings were kind of weird, though.
Call from
Justine.
Hey, what's happening?
What's happening? Happy New Year and all of that. What's going on? What's your, what would you like to contribute to the conversation today?
So I guess the first thing that one thing that came to mind was that when it comes to collaborations, I feel like they should happen organically. And I feel that a lot of churches, no matter what kind of church, are very lost in the social aspect, whether it be the music or the social, parts of it. And there's not a lot of groups of people. Like, I'm really blessed. I'm super spoiled because I have a group of people who were very service-based. So, it's not a fashion show. It's not, it's actually, we're all human, right? But everybody, I feel like it's a really humble group of people. And I think all this things where they put any politics or anything outside of the love of God and the love of each other and the service that, that we are called to in this world, they're not focused on it. They don't want to have a collaboration because some people probably do, but we're all just so stuck on ourselves that that's the last thing that they're thinking about. It's more about right or wrong or drawing the line in the sand and saying, oh, I'm this. Oh, no, you're that. You know what I mean? Like, it's all just ego. So I just
Absolutely.
think...
ego and agendas, yeah.
Yeah.
So my thing is, I like what you said. You said it should be organic. And I agree with that. Yeah. But, in marketing, you got organic marketing and you got outreach, you got inbound marketing, and you got advertising. And
I'll tell you what oh, sorry, go ahead.
And if you want to wait around for some shit to happen, I don't know if that's the right approach. I think you need to just go ahead and jump in there right now and reach out and say, yo, listen,
and that's what I do every day.
We are who we are. We know you're a black church, but we want to restore Jesus Christ in America. People think white and black people can't have good relations. Let's throw a picnic and prove these motherfuckers wrong. You'd be surprised at how many churches.
You invite people, you know what I mean? That's what I go through my day. I speak to all kinds of people from A to Z. Mm. And I go out of my way to speak to people. I go out of my way to pray with people. I'm not trying to beef myself up. This is what I do in order to touch people and show them, hey, somebody cares. And not only that, I invite people to church if I'm on my way there or where, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think, yes, I love what you're saying. I know that there could be a lot of beautiful things. I think it starts on an individual basis and being able to connect with people one-on-one and, you know, on your own, rather than saying, hey, let's try to get this whole group of people with this whole group of people, because it starts as individuals for me personally, because one thing is I've had to learn not to try to chase people down and pound in, you know, what works for me and what makes me happy and gives me hope, because that doesn't work. You know, for me, it's more of I've learned to kind of let go and just kind of like try my best to just actually just set an example, I guess you could say that, or just, you know, show love in a different way rather than trying to force things, or even like you said with marketing, right? I had to learn with one company, if you have a great product or service, you don't have to chase people down for it, because they're going to come to you. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't mean that you don't talk about it and that you don't try to, you know, share it. The forcing, it's like the, you know, like with it, nature and energy, how the more you try to force something, the more resistance you get. So
my thing is, the business analogy falls apart at a certain point when we talk about black and white relations. Usually when you're dealing in business, you don't have the problem of black and white relations. But what we're talking about here is something that has resistance. And because it has resistance, it's going to take somebody to break that wall. So you can't just sit back and wait for somebody to buy the product. You have to break that wall that was created through Jim Crow and Rockefeller education system.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, people need to go in. I mean, go in there. I mean, I've been to black churches and everybody's cool.
That's what I'm saying. So it's possible.
I mean, I like it. I've been to black churches and, you know, I've been to different churches, but, you know, I think people are just uncomfortable, I guess, because when you could just, I think a lot of people are uncomfortable with themselves. So it's hard enough when you're uncomfortable with yourself. But if you're comfortable with yourself, then you could just walk into amongst a group of people that maybe you're not usually amongst, and you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not that big of a deal. It's not that scary. Right. It's okay. Right. So.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I appreciate you.
All right. Well, y'all have a blessed day.
All right. Have a good one. It's Justine on the check-in. Let's go back here. How many of the churches of any color are truly concerned with spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ and not so much with political matters? I don't even think political matters are the problem with churches. I think they're more money motivated than political motivated. Niggas trying to make some money. Pastor trying to buy a new car. Let's just call a spade. Whether it's Peter Popoff or TD Jakes, they trying to buy a new car, okay? Of those churches having political concerns, how many are promoting the liberal agenda rather than God's will? I don't know that number. I think some of the mega churches may lean more liberal. But I think the majority of, I'm just speaking from black churches, I don't even think they know, you know, what they want out of politics. I think they know what they want for their community, which supersedes politics. And is probably more important than politics, but, you know, usually it's like a mega church that Hillary Clinton or, you know, Biden's peoples have communicated and set up a meeting with. They make a donation to the church. Again, exchange of money. Because I'm telling you right now, if white conservatives cut a check to a black church, they're going to open them doors. Pastor going to open them doors. There's going to be MAGA hats to the whole congregation. People care about money. People can be bought. Cut a 6-figure check to a black church. Watch some niggas vote Republican ASAP. See, that's the difference. The Republicans is going on and they opening that checkbook. Y'all ain't opening no checkbook now. Shit, everybody got a price. Generally, people call themselves Christian nationalists. Grapers are utterly unlikable and largely unintelligent. That's been my experience. Anyway, if you call yourself Christian nationalist and are not a groyper, I apologize. What up, caller?
What up? Hey, says AK, man. I got a double dip, bro. I never double dip before, man. But
What happened?
oh man. Okay, so whenever you hear some white identitarian trying to say that in the black community, especially in the black church, that somehow they've let Democrats infect them, you have to understand a very simple reality. All of the pro-LGBT Christian stuff are all a bunch of white churches.
That's facts.
Right? When you're driving past, like in Minnesota, we got a handful of churches that they have pastors, they have other, council leadership in the church that are pro-LGBT.
Yeah.
Because I've worked in Republican politics in some way, shape, or form, whether as a volunteer or officially on campaigns, there has never been a single black church that has said, you can't come here if you're a Republican candidate. Never one. Never. You could take the most, you could take the church that like Keith Ellison goes to or whatever, right? That, is tied to the Democrat Party. And like Reverend McAfee, he'll let you come there if you're a Republican. But, don't get it twisted when people put your feet to the fire saying, hey, why haven't you been around? Why do you only come around during election season? But they are open to it. They are open to it. The only come across in Republican Party politics is that there are community organizations that are tied to the Democrat Party that will try and gatekeep you. I've witnessed that, but not the churches themselves. It's community organizations that might hear like, oh, you want to come, let's say, over to like the YMCA or to the Family Brown Center or whatever, right? And then they'll go out there and say, don't let these racist Republicans come in here. But it ain't the church. The church, every church that I've ever interacted with through Republican candidates is always like, yeah, come here. Just understand that like we're going to be asking you a bunch of tough questions that are going to make you feel real uncomfortable. And the truth is, most Republicans, they don't want to have to deal with those things. But you said this earlier, man. You said this so clearly. You would be surprised, you shouldn't be, but you would be surprised if you go into different communities, especially within the United States, and see that if you come to someone with respect and gratitude, they will give you respect and gratitude back, even if they've never fucked with you in the past.
Yep.
They'll say, oh, hey, thanks for trying. Whereas what happens is these white identitarians create this boogeyman saying like, oh, you don't want to go talk to the black church. You're a bunch of liberals. And it's like, do you not even talk to black people? So, yeah, man, I had to double dip for that because it's absurd, the idea that somehow it's black churches that are pushing all this liberal stuff. Yes, black churches, because they predominantly have large black populations, are, I'll call it culturally Democrat. So they're more open and more Democrats will go and talk to them. But when it comes to the word and talking about your values, black churches are very open to anybody coming there. So just want to throw that out there, man.
Salute. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, man. Happy New Year, bro. And shout out to Rudy, man. I just want to say real quick, I lost my mom last year on January 10th, coming up on the anniversary. And I just continue to look at all of the positive that my life has. It's always about what we can do with the hand that we've been dealt. And, man, Hotep and Build to everyone in Hotep Nation and to Rudy and the family, man.
Hey, appreciate you, man. Hotep and Build. I thought we were going to get Taylor in here, but I think he's going to check in with us on Monday. So the groyper situation is something I quite frankly don't understand. And what you notice about me is I sound really intelligent because I only talk about the things I understand. People usually sound stupid when they talk about things they don't understand. And I don't understand the groypers. And the reason why I don't understand the groypers is because sometimes I see them saying racist shit, and then I see them posting their pictures with black people, and I go, all right, so this group isn't monolithic. It seems like just a troll group. So, and again, like I said, in the Twitter spaces yesterday, when I thought of white Christian nationalists, I don't think of groypers. That's the last thing I think about. Like the groypers to me don't even come to mind. What's this black church, and is it in the room with us? I don't understand that. Just some joke troll, I guess. The churches I've attended are diverse. I've rarely ever seen a video of a black church have anyone except blacks. In fact, many black churches advertise themselves as black. You know, the black church is, as configured today, is in the DNC's hands. And to be fair, the GOP are equally nominal Christians who do not really believe in those Christian values. Now, that's reality. I can't argue with that tweet. That post is accurate. The black church, for the most part, does appear to be in the DNC hands when it is dealing in politics. Okay? But all that tells me is you go, oh, well, the Democrats done won the black church, so we're not even going to fight there. It's like, what? You giving up? You're like, oh, just let them have that. Then you be mad. Then y'all say shit in my chat. Then they say shit in my chat like, well, why don't black people keep voting Democrat? Maybe that's the only option. Because dead ass, in some jurisdictions that are predominantly black, you'll go look at the ballot and the ballot will have a Democrat. Under Democrat, it'll have a name. Then it'll have independent and it'll have a name. Then it'll have Republican and Republican will be blank. Then they go, well, how come you're not voting for Republicans? Did you show up? You got to show up. You got to actually be on the ballot to be voted for. But these are the things that the GOP don't tell their constituents. They don't tell them that, hey, we didn't put a budget over there, or hey, we didn't run a guy there, or we didn't support the Republican in that jurisdiction. This is an interesting story here. So this person says, because black churches don't want white people in their church. Okay. And I failed to specify America. And I just said, show me, right? That was my response. He said, thank you, Hotep Jesus. I'm currently listening to your show. I'm referencing being in the UK. So this is different. I don't know shit about being in the UK. And again, I don't talk on shit I don't know. This what makes me sound intelligent. He said, I'm a Bible-believing Christian. Since the white privilege thing drifted over from America, black women would look away from me and look towards my son who was mixed race and smile. I don't even know what that means, but that sounds like some psychosis shit. So let's try and think about this. Black women would look away from. I'm trying to figure out what this got to do with the black church now. Because here I'm what this reminds me of is the autobiography of Malcolm X, where white women have currency in the black community and you're perceived as having higher value when you come around with white people. It says, actually, after showing that video, we do have black churches who would invite white people if the conversation came up, but these are prosperity churches, mainly African churchgoers, not West Indian. Okay. See, I don't know what the black people act like in the UK, so I wouldn't try to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't try and talk about. I try to stick to what I know. And so, yeah, we've gone through all the responses, or at least the bulk of them that I'll address today. This is the last broadcast of 2023. Last broadcast of 2023, the last Grift Report of 2023. So I want to have some closing remarks here. 2023 was the birth of the Grift Report. It's only, I don't know, 6 months old, something like that. So really what it came down to is people enjoyed my streams when I had them, but I didn't know what to do streams on or how often to do them. And I had to be more consistent in content creation. So I decided to do a daily show, and that became the Grift Report. And I would say it's gotten better. I'm getting more refined on what exactly I want to do with this show, how this show runs, the things we talk about, my interaction with the audience, the callers, all of that. I do want to give a special shout out to Hotep Goldstein, Strong Dad, Rudy, Taylor, Fresh Mike, K, particularly, and that's not to exempt any other names, but specifically for the Grift Report, I think those people have sort of stamped themselves in the history of the Grift Report, most notably the debate between Goldstein and Strong Dad, the debate between Rudy and White Mike, a.k.a. Fresh Mike. Fresh Mike taking on the task of organizing the Grifties for us, makes him extra special. And Kay, she just keeps shit spicy. She called the women with flat asses on the calendar last week. So Kay has done a phenomenal job as a moderator. And it would be absolutely wrong for me to not remember to shout out descendant of Loki. Nobody has contributed to this channel more than the descendant of Loki. So we got to give him props. And then, of course, our moderators, right? Steph Colonel, Carlos Africa, Hotep Dutch, Justine, and Jack Reeves. Gotta show love to Jack Reeves. So our callers mean something to the show, so I had to show them love. Our contributors mean something, so I had to show them love. 2023 was a hard year. This is a tough year. Nobody can deny that. Nobody can deny that. 2023 was a tough fucking year. But 2024, because of our grussel, we're going to make 2024 an easy year. You see, when you do hard work, life is easy. When you're lazy, life is hard. So we're going to tackle 2024 with the grussel like you've never seen before to bring you the greatest content ever. And just be consistent. 2024 is a year of money, particularly the number 8, which means money. So we're going to accumulate a lot of cash next year, all of us. We're going to share that cash amongst each other. menofwater.com had their first hire this year. That was good. Shout out to the whole menofwater.com team. Shout out to Syscoin. Syscoin has been absolutely instrumental. They are the Medici family of Hotep Jesus. Bankrolling me. Appreciate them. Descendant of Loki again, bankrolling the channel. Appreciate him. And everybody else that's contributed monetarily to this channel. Retro Neon has been consistent with his support. Here's another one from Retro Neon. That's true about the pastor. Brand Nubian exposed that back in the day. Tari said, appreciate the promo grift this year. The primo grift this year. The Grift Report is taking over 2024. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to Tari. Shout out to people who came to HotepCon. That's extra special to me. You come hang out with us. Bought a ticket. And hung out for a weekend with us. That was extra special to meet y'all, see y'all face to face, and drink with y'all. So I just wanted to have some parting words since this is the last stream of the year. I will not be here Monday. I'm gonna enjoy time with the family. I'll be back Tuesday though. I'll be back Tuesday. Rare form as usual. Ranger said the market's about to crash. Usually if people say the market's about to crash, that means it's about to boom. I'm expecting a boom because if you know anything about this year, everybody said the market was going to bust this year and it boomed. No, everybody said it was going to boom this year and it busted. So next year, people are saying it's going to bust, so I'm expecting a boom. I'm expecting interest rates to lower. Like I said, it's a money year, so we're going to see new all-time highs. We've been seeing new all-time highs. I watched my portfolio this week, had new all-time highs. Or new yearly highs, I should say. New yearly highs. I'm expecting that to carry on into the new year. I want y'all to be safe. I want y'all to make sure you spend time with family for the New Year's. Tell somebody you love them. Try to spend more time with your family than usual. Don't be on the internet arguing with strangers on New Year's Eve or New Year's. It's corny. It's a waste of our Hotep energy. It's better to direct that energy towards the kids, the family, your spouse, aunts, nieces, nephews, uncles, etc., etc. So, signing off for 2023, I am the Grift God.
Hotep Jesus.
And I'll see y'all next year. Hotep and Bill. Wait, I need to put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. But I'll see y'all next year, man. Hotep and Bill.
Yeah, I can try to get that handled for you. Again, it's only my second day, so if you can give me a second. How am I supposed to do this? How the hell are we supposed to do this by 5 o'clock?
I have no clue.
Is that possible? Hey, do you have the password to... How'd you finish all your work already?
He's not tapped in. How'd you get that done so quick?
They think they're gonna be able to budget that?
It's money. That's money right there. You understand? You guys finished your work 6 hours early?
He's not tapped in.